Everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today's video is a long video, and this was the Zoom meeting I did with some of the GKS aspirants. क्योंकि ये वीडियो बहुत ज़्यादा लंबा है तो I have tried to put timestamps of each question so that you don't have to sit through the whole video and you can just click on the timestamp and directly get your answer. I hope this video really helps you out. And if you have any more questions apart from these, you can always reach out to me over on Instagram. I will see you guys in 2022 next. So have a happy new year. Work hard on your application, and I hope I see you all in South Korea soon. Enjoy the video. Yeah, so like I was saying, I can answer everything with the best of my knowledge, and you guys can ask questions.
First of all, thank you very much, Priyadharshini, for joining us and taking some time out of your busy schedule. I can understand that you have some kind of pressure as a GKS scholar, and you might get many requests to keep on guiding. So thank you for making your time for us, and definitely.
Well, I'm happy to join today.
Thank you. Okay, a recording request has become, which is actually happening. So,
okay. So, do you want to go with the questions you sent me, or should we just ask people to ask questions randomly?
First, we will ask the questions which we have made it on the docket. I guess you have also received it. And after that, if anyone has anything related to that topic only which you are answering, and if they are not clear, we will take it, but only would like one or two, and which are valid. And we had also requested if they got the answer from your answer only, so they will not ask the same question again. And that I have requested. And rather than that, if they don't understand that what you said, or bit of confusion with the certain thing, so they will ask. So I have asked them to raise their hand, so they will do that.
Okay. Another point, do you guys want me to keep talking in English or switch to Hindi?
English, Hindi, both can work, because here people are.
Let's keep it.
Till now, I have not seen anybody who's from who is from another country. All Indians are joining, or I guess some Pakistanis. So yes, you can talk in Hindi by then.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so I will give a few minutes to for you guys to ask me a question, or else I will start with the first question here on the list. Anyone wants to ask a question right now?
Guys, you can unmute yourself. I had already given a permission, but by raising hand only. Okay, just raise your hand if you feel like you want to ask. If not, then I will thoroughly start with it. Okay, then let me start with the questions which has come up in the docket.
All right.
The first question which has been asked is, first you give a brief introduction, what's your name and what major you have applied and what track you have applied.
Okay, so my name is Jyoti Sihag. I'm from Rajasthan, and I'm here to study international business, and I will be pursuing my master's degree here. I applied through both tracks, university and embassy, and this was my only attempt. So that's about me.
Okay, so the first question is that you have attempted in both the tracks. So is it like you have first applied in embassy and then you've gone for university?
Yeah. So I think this was, somebody is
holding as on.
Please raise your hand. Please unmute yourself.
1895.
Yes, 1895. Please.
Those price are to.
Sorry?
Galu.
Guys, I request everyone just raise your hand and then only ask. Otherwise, unmute yourself because it just breaks the flow.
Okay, so I will start with the first question. So I think only in this year it was allowed because the deadlines for the university track were later than the embassy track, and so NIID accepted you to send the application again via university track if you do not get selected in the first round of embassy track. That's what the notice was. So I applied through embassy track initially because if आप लोग first time apply करते हो, it's always in your mind that you will have 3 universities to choose from, more options, more chances, and all of that. And I had the same mentality that if I apply through embassy track, at least I have one option out of the 3 to get selected. So it just increases your chances. But there are so many other factors that come with embassy track that I got to know later on. And in the embassy track notice, you will always see that they have preference to given to certain universities already. Like they mention it in their notice. So if you are from a private university, like I was, I would suggest not wasting your time via embassy track. That's where I wasted my time. So first I applied through embassy track, and after the list was released, I was not selected. And that's when I prepared another set of documents and sent it to university, the one I wanted to apply to. So I had selected 3, but I sent it to the first one that I had selected. So that's how I applied to both the tracks. Shrestha, you are muted.
Apologies, guys. Yes, Sampriti, you can go ahead. You are raising the question. You can unmute.
Hi, Jyoti.
Hello.
So like I wanted to ask, like, after you send your documents to embassy, how much time do you take to reply? Because most of the universities have their deadlines by say early March, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think so we'll be left with much choice if we go through the embassy track and then like apply for the university track.
So yes, there is that disadvantage, but I would say it's still an advantage that you are getting a second chance in the same year. You don't have to wait another year to apply and see if you can get through the process, if that makes sense. But you do have the disadvantage of sorry.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you do have the disadvantage of losing on certain universities. For example, Korea University was one of the universities that had the earliest deadlines, and you could not apply to both if you wanted to. So some of the universities will have deadlines pretty early in March, but the other universities, like I would say 50, it's a 50-50. 50% of the universities has early deadlines, but 50% have like in late April. So you get the result from embassy track and you have enough time to send your documents to universities. It's just the fact that you're getting another chance. But there is a possibility that you will not get your preferred university.
Okay. And how much time does the embassy take to like get back to us, like with the select?
So embassy does not. I was not selected, so I'm not sure. But how I found out about the result was they published the list of students who were selected on the website. So that's the only confirmation I got. I think once a student is selected through embassy track, they receive another email, and then the next list of process, what they have to do for interview and all of that. So, and for us, it was within 3 days, embassy released the result. But for our year, it was also a special case because COVID was going on and everything was fast tracked in a way. So I wouldn't say just take that timeline as a confirmation, but
Embassy takes about 1 week to 10 days and then let you know the results.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else want to ask any question regarding the same topic, or else I will? Yes, fine. Go ahead.
So my question is that you said that you applied for the university track after the embassy track. So which university did you choose?
So the 3 universities in the embassy track that I chose were Aju University, Eva University, and Busan University. So those were the 3 in embassy track. But when I went to the university track, I went with the first choice, which was Aju University.
Okay. I don't really know if you have any idea about this because it's not your major. But my other question is, how much does research, like you having research experience, push you forward in being selected as a candidate for GKS?
Okay. So my graduation was with engineering as my major, and then I switched major to international business. But I had papers published while I was studying or pursuing engineering, right? So I would say it does make a difference. And I think NIID is slightly trying to hint that as well to students so that they can start preparing their portfolio accordingly. Like in 2024, if you will be applying, you need to, if you have a language certificate or any of the papers, you get extra advantage, right? So those are the things NIID wants to highlight. But publishing a paper is not the only criteria. It does make you stand out from the crowd. If 100 people are applying and 50 have published a paper, 50 hasn't, so those 50 will be rejected immediately. And then out of the other 50, they will check for the other qualities and other accomplishments. So it depends on that. So having a publishing, like a paper published or any of those accomplishments does help, definitely.
On the same lines, I wanted to ask, like, do even research articles count, or only
Yes,
paper?
everything counts. Everything
Or say
counts.
any article if it's published on say a major website or something like that. That all.
Yes. So those things, you get two sections to mention all of these accomplishment. One is the section in the application form itself, and the other one in your personal statement. So if you have an article published on a specific website, maybe you can hint it out in your personal statement so that during your interview you have a good point to talk about.
Okay, and we have to take out a printout of the article that is like being published and then send it forward with the extracurriculars.
Right. So these kind of things only are like personalized. Do you want your portfolio to have that article? Because they go through everything. They go through all your certificates or all the papers that you provide, everything. They read through it, right? So if it is a very good article and you want them to read it, sure. And if you got a certificate that says, okay, this article was published, then that is also fine.
Okay. And just one last question.
No problem.
If, say, your article is not published yet, can you still send the draft or something like that?
So if it's in a pipeline, maybe send the article, that's fine, no problem. But while you're mentioning it in your application or personal statement, make it sound like you're still working through it and you are motivated to keep working on it and all of that. Like if it is a interesting topic or ties up to your major, maybe try to make it a point that you're still working on it and it's a motivation point for you, and soon it will be published or something like that. So you can definitely mention it.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
I have another question.
Yeah.
Yes, Fahad, go ahead.
My question is that, for the MSc track, you said that there are like various differences compared to the university track in the sense that they select you upon these criteria in the MSc track. So can you speak about that?
Okay. So if you read the notice that the MHRD publishes for the GKS scholarship, they mention that universities that are like, I'm just gonna keep it very simple. All the top universities, IITs or the DU, JNU, all these government-funded universities are given priority. Okay, so if you are a student from these universities, from my experience, I can tell that you will be shortlisted and then maybe your application would be checked. That's how I would say it. So when you fill the form online, you provide the information about your university and which university you have graduated from and everything. And I think that's where they shortlist the candidate already. And that's when they move on to opening your documents and checking whether the candidate is worthy enough to move forward or not. So if you are from a private university, your chances are very slim. I'm going to say it because for me, once I had put the online form thing, they did not even check my documents because it was already university, so they did not prioritize me while selecting. So that is one of the conditions I think makes you think which track you have to go through.
My other question would be regarding the actual MHRD website that we have to upload the information into before it goes to Mhrd. So over there, they ask you to write about in a short form, like your SOP and all of that. So do you change your actual SOP and shorten it and minimize it and highlight all those major points, or you just put the exact same thing that you have already written and send it online?
So you can put the exact thing, but I think there is a word limit there, 250
yes.
or something.
Yeah.
So since they have a word limit, what I had done is I took important points and then bullet pointed the summary of my actual document. I did not write the exact same thing. And I would say do the same thing so that you don't just give them everything already. You still have things to talk about when you hopefully go through the next round.
Okay, and my last question would be regarding the university. So you said that people from government universities have a priority over private institutions. So this affiliated, if your college is affiliated to a government university, does that count as a government university, or is it like private?
I think I'm not the best person to say this. I think since we get this chance to try through embassy and university track, I think if you think your university would be counted under that criteria, then you can, I think, first try through embassy track. The only thing is why I suggest people to understand this criteria is because the whole application takes a lot of money and not everyone is financially that stable, right? So for me, it was a hit too. I had to prepare so much, then send my documents in, and then I got to know that I'm not selected. So I had to send it to South Korea. That adds up, everything adds up. So it's a lot of money. So make sure you already decide, do you have a good percentage to be selected via embassy track or not? Just don't think that you will get 3 chances, because I have heard of cases like none of the universities selected the candidate. And in the last year's results, if you see, there were 19 seats, but only 11 were selected through embassy track, and rest of the seats were given to university track. So it doesn't really have a 100% result rate as per my timeline, right? So I would say decide first which track would be the best for you.
Also, did you, when you sent in your documents to South Korea for the university track, did you apostille all your documents again?
Actually, for me, when I initially sent, I just sent the notarized version. But since last year, or as of now, I think last year this was made 100% that you have to apostille the documents. Before that, people were just sending the notarized version till they clear the last round. And that's when they start sending, getting their documents apostilled before coming to Korea. But now I think certain universities ask you to apostille the documents even before you send them for the first round. I did not had them apostilled initially, but my university wrote back to me that if I can send them the apostille document copy within 7 days, they will give me a new deadline. So my university was good in that way. All universities are not like that. So I would say get them apostilled. It's just a confirmation that your document is authentic. So you can get them apostilled. It's a little expensive. So again, think and then do it. Yes.
Did you submit any kind of language certification?
I did. I only got a English as my medium of study certificate from my university. But while I was working as an engineer, I was also working as an online English teacher, certified teacher. So I did provide that certificate. It is not a language per se certification, but it does state that I can teach English online.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, Bhava, you were asked. You had raised your hand. So, do you have any questions regarding the same topic?
Yes. First, thank you for this opportunity. And hi, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. So
you can also sorry to interrupt. You can also open the video so that she.
Yeah. You guys can come on video chat.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, but here it is. What to say? My room is not that good,
Not
and
suitable.
lightings are
not
not that.
Okay, not
Okay. So my question is that for Apostille, you have to send the original documents because once you give them, I hear that they are not returning back if you are not selected. So should I need to submit my original degree certificate?
Okay, very good question. Everyone is confused about it. So first of all, there are two types of apostille services. Not types, I would say. One is you get your original document apostilled, or if your university provides multiple copies of your document, like the transcripts and degree, you give them one set.
Mummy?
Okay. So you give them one set to apostille and keep another set to yourself. Okay, I think we have to join back, guys.
No, it got upgraded to an unlimited version thing, I guess.
Oh, okay, because for me it says time's up. Never mind. If it shuts down, we can join
just started again.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, like I was saying, so if you get multiple copies, just send one for apostille and keep one for yourself. And that copy you can send them because you have another original document to yourself. But if you have only one original document, get that apostilled, take a Xerox of it, notarize the Xerox and send that notarized version. It will be valid. Take a Xerox front and back and make it
color Xerox.
Honestly, NIID doesn't care if it's a color or a black and white. So I would say save your money, go for black and white. It's okay.
Okay, so because I have only one document, so so I need to get notarized and then send it to the apostille, right?
Yeah. So no, one original, send it for apostille, get the apostille back, take this Xerox of this document, notarize the Xerox, and original notarization document, send it to the university.
Okay, I got it. Thank you so much.
No problem. Okay.
Anybody have any other question regarding the same topic, or should I move ahead? No questions? Okay, then I will just gonna like take the next question of students. Okay, they have. So can you just, as you have applied from both the tracks, can you just tell us the pros and cons of the of both the tracks?
Okay. Biggest pros and con, I think I have spoken about already. Depends on your portfolio and your profile and the university you are graduating from. But other than that, you have to understand that from in university track, you only compete with aspirants from India. They send in their application and you have a certain amount of seats and you can fight for those slots, right? But in university track, it's global. People from all over the world send in their application, and then you have a certain number of seats in that university. So I would say if you are going through embassy track, that is one thing you can think about, like the major you are applying to, how many can be applying to that, like the competition overall. Like for MBA and certain engineering streams, the competition is always high. A lot of people wants to take that particular major, right? So if you weigh in those numbers, you can understand which university or which track to apply through.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, can you brief us about the Mhrd procedure?
Okay. So the procedure is quite simple. It's not that complicated. Yes, in the first go, you do want to understand everything, and it might sound complicated, but once the notice is out on the Mhrd website, you just have to read through the notice if they have made any changes, because usually the information is pretty standard. When is the deadline? What are the documents you need to send in? Number of sets, and their criteria. They will mention the criteria? How will they select the students on what basis? So once that notice is out, check the deadline and prepare your documents, send in the documents, keep your tracking ID with you. And once you apply to the online portal, you will get a not student ID, but a ID, or how should I say? You get a specific number. It's the alphanumeric number, and that is your application number. So once you have that, you just wait for the results, and then they will tell you about the next process. So it's pretty simple through Mhrd. We just wait for the notice, and everything else will fall in place.
Okay, I want to ask one question. As it is compulsory for the masters and PhD students to go through Mhrd thing, so it is true that Mhrd used to filter half of the students from there on.
Okay, your voice is cracking, but I heard is for PhD students, it's compulsory to go through embassy. Is that what you asked?
No, I am asking that is it true that Mhrd filtered the students from the first process on, like half of the students can't apply because Mhrd has not approved, and given if applying for embassy, Mhrd has not approved and forwarded the documents of the students to
okay.
They
so
sent
no, they all. They do not filter initially, but I think they start to filter once you submit your online form. That's when the filtering starts. So I think you can say it's the very beginning stage itself that they filter half of the students who can or cannot move forward. They will not open your documents unless you clear the online form filtering. I'm pretty sure about it. So yes, the filtering will start there. But the disadvantage is the online form filling and the sending of documents all happen simultaneously. So you have already spent your time, your money on that process also. So you have to keep that in mind.
Okay. Other question is from the chat only. Okay. Let's see what's the question over there. 2-3 questions have been come.
Okay. One is, hello, I have done my undergrad in BA Political Science. I want to do Masters in Fashion Management. Can I switch my major? Okay. About switching major, I have switched my major from engineering to business studies. What I did was, and it's possible, it's not like it's impossible. It's just that, do you have a solid reason for switching? Why do you want to switch? What is your motivation? And whatever time you have spent studying political science, out of that information, knowledge, can you connect it to your next major? So if you find a link, I think it's possible, 99% possible that you can switch your major. But they will ask you why. What is the connection? They asked me to. So I had to find a connection between engineering and my business studies and why I wanted to switch major.
Okay. So the next another question from the chat is.
Okay, another question is Mhrd process, and after applying online in Mhrd, when will send our hard copy to embassy? Okay, so the online applying and I think the link or the portal is activated after a certain date. So they will tell you that in the notice as well, when the link will be activated to fill in your online form. But your hard copy deadline will be in the notice saying that before this date, you have to send your documents to this address. So anytime before the actual deadline, you can send in your hard copy.
So the next question is how to fill the grades in the application form. This is a very much asked question.
Yes, everyone's confused about it. So I think most of the Indian universities provide you a 10-point grade scale. So anyone apart from that, for my university, they provided me a 10-point grade scale. I did not make any changes. Whatever was my CGPA, I just entered it as it is. But if you have some different grading system, just change it using the online. Either ask your university to provide a 10-point scale grade system mark sheet. Some universities do that as well, but some of them don't. So people have been using online systems to enter their marks and then converting it. So my suggestion is, even if you use that process, after you get your converted marks sheet or the transcript again, get that attested from your university stating that, yes, this is a correct conversion. So that's the only thing you should do to make your document authentic.
So if we have a 10 scale, we don't need to convert it?
No, you don't have to do anything.
But what if we don't have that 8, like 80% above thing?
So minimum requirement is 80. I don't think it would matter if you, because the NIID accepted grade point scales are 4, 5, 10. I think these are the 3. So if you already have 10, you don't have to convert. I think it doesn't make sense to convert. You should not convert. It's already accepted grade point scale. But if you don't have 80, try to get a document that states that you are in the above, like top 20%. So those are your only 2 options. Either you have 80 plus and you're good to go, or get the document.
And also, like, how much do marks actually matter? Like, even in the thing is, even with embassy track, say, even if I am from a government college, the next criteria was from if 2 students are on the same level, the next thing that will like define the nomination will be their marks. So I feel even then embassy track makes your chances bleak if you do not have a very good percentage.
Yes, that's a good point. So
like
I would say the marks matters more in the embassy track, as per my experience, since I've tried both. In university track, marks is a baseline for you to apply for this university, be eligible to send your documents. But sometimes, even if you have weaker grade like CGPA than another student, but your other accomplishments and overall as a candidate you're good, the university track still picks you. I have seen such cases like a student having out of 5 grade point scale 4 CGPA, and another one with 3.2 CGPA, but the profile they sent in, like all the other achievements, all the academic achievements or the extra achievements, their profile was stronger, so the 3.2 was selected. So in university track, the marks is the baseline, that's it, like for you to enter the scholarship process. But in embassy track, it does matter.
But is it the same with like very good universities, say like KU or EVA? Even would they be okay if your marks are like average and you have an extraordinary?
Yeah, this case that I'm telling you, it's actually EVA University.
Oh, okay.
So they do care about your overall profile, not just the marks.
Okay.
Yes, Riya, go ahead.
Thank you. So I wanted to ask, what if we had articles that are published online related to a major, but not the official research articles? So where do we add them, and should we send the articles as a printed form?
Okay, we touched on this topic a little, but do you get a certificate, email, or anything officiating the thing that your article is published? Like you are the author of the article? Okay, so either send in that document, and if you want them to read this article and understand what your research point of view is, you can definitely send in your article printed out as well. You can add them in the extracurriculars or keep them on the top if you want it to be prioritized.
Okay, so basically I just had this content writing internship certificate in which that I have produced articles. So would that be authenticate, I guess?
Yes. So send in the certificate and maybe put in 1 article, 2 articles, which are your best ones for them to refer your work. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So the other question is, like, how many extracurricular certificates is too much? Like, how much is too much? Because I have heard, like, don't send just some random bunch of articles that would end up in the dustbin, and you have to notarize all those articles as well. So is that true?
So after your identification, so in the checklist you have the parents identification thing, and then you have the extracurricular certificates. So till then, the document needs to be notarized. None of the extracurricular certificate needs to be notarized. You can just send in a copy, Xerox copy of it, and and there is no limit. You can send as many as you have. I sent documents from my school days, like certificates from my school days, certificates of sports that I took part in. So those doesn't really matter if I have them or not, but it just shows that I was an active student from. So there is no limit in how many documents, like how many certificates you have to send. You can send as many. I sent quite few. Any of your achievement matters. You have to show them that you're a very active candidate. Yeah, they just don't look at academic achievements only. Yes, that plays a role, but there is a good chunk of percentage where they care what kind of student you are actually. Are you an all-rounder? Do you maybe have some hobbies apart from studying? So those any of the certificate that shows that side of you, you should put them in.
Yeah, anything else you want to ask? You can unmute yourself. I have muted you because of the Yeah, your voice is not audible, so you can also type the question on the chat box. Because there's a bit disturbance from your background.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes, you are audible now.
Okay. So, should we add every certificate that we mentioned in our essays? For example, if I say that I was a joint secretary of my English department, but I don't have any certificates to prove that. So, should I mention it in my essay or should I just leave it?
Okay. If you want to mention it, there must be something to prove that you were at that position. Maybe an email or a document accepting you as the candidate to be at that position, anything. So for me, in one of my awards thing, I did not have a certificate, but I had an email saying that I have won this and this award. So if I mention that in my essays, I should be able to prove it, or else it's like your word against their word. It's like that. So I would say mention those achievements that you have a proof of.
Okay.
Try to find
Thank you
any
for
proof.
that.
Anything works. Yeah.
So, should I just like print it out and send it to them?
Yeah.
The email. Okay.
Mhm.
So, in the previous achieved degree section, which is given in the application form, can we also add the diploma course that we have completed in the Open University, like IGNO?
I think you can add it, but I did not have any of that. Like, I did not have a diploma or anything, so I'm not sure about it. Maybe we'll have to do some research. So I can definitely get back to you. I can try to search internet if they have some information, but I'm not sure about the extra degree. Sorry.
Okay. So my last question. So in the type of application, if I'm applying for natural science major, type B university, should I tick in the general box section or should I choose the science and engineering majors of regional university section?
Yeah, you should select the science and engineering majors and regional university. You're going for type B, right?
Yeah. Type B and natural science.
Yeah, so select not the general one.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
One
Roshni,
question.
okay,
Ask-
Sampriti, go ahead. After that, Roshni, you will
Someone
say.
asked this question ki, since like mostly like in our colleges we do not get our degrees like for for at least 1 or 2 years, so can we send a provisional or original like online degree that we get?
Okay. Do not send your online degree, or even if you have an online degree, print it out. Again, get it attested, authenticated from university first, and then
Okay.
notarize or apostille or whatever the process you're going through. But yes, it is possible to send in a provisional certificate. NID gives you two different deadlines. One is to send in your provisional degree with another document stating that this is just a provisional degree and the university confirms that you will get your original degree within this time frame. So they have to mention an year or time or a month, right? So those two things can be sent, or once you get the online thing, get it attested and make it authenticated and send that. I think the online one would be still iffy. Check with your university if that is acceptable form of your degree or not. Another thing is once you come here, you're like selected and everything, and you're going through your language school, they will give you another timeline to submit your original degree. So whenever you get the original, you should immediately submit it. So that timeline depends on your university you are going to pursue your master's or PhD from. So that timeline can differ.
Okay, but provisional works.
But it works, yeah.
Okay. Who was Virali? Yes, Virali. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Srishta. Hi, Jyotidi. You might, I always disturb you a few times. So my question is, like, since PhD students ask to the professors for the email acceptance that yes, they have accepted us as researchers.
Yeah. So you want to know whether you need a acceptance letter?
I think that's a question, but she's from she's applying for masters only.
Okay.
Okay, in generic way, it's like, is the acceptance letter carry some weightage at the time of selection from NID part?
Okay. For masters, I'm going to speak for masters. For PhD, it's a mandatory thing. You have to get it, right? For masters, there are two scenarios. So one is your major doesn't have a lab component. For instance, I will be studying international business. I do not have to attend a lab. I will be attending a class, a lecture from the certain professor, right? But for the sciences or any of the majors that need you to work on a project in a lab, it it is a way for you to book a slot for yourself in that lab already. So if you reach out to the professor, you know that this professor is the one I want to work under, and you get an acceptance letter, it 100% increases your chances. But it's not necessary, like it's not mandatory that you have to get a acceptance letter from the professor in master's degree or the process.
But
So
we
if
can
you get it,
obviously
it's
try, right?
sorry.
But we can try, right? If we get one, then our application can have a boost.
Right. So the professors, you will be reaching out to them and you will tell them that I'm interested in applying to GKS and I've read about your work or whatever, and I'm interested to work under you. They would know about the GKS process already because they accept scholars every year, right? So just reach out to them well in advance. Like now, February, the notice should be out. So now is a good time after holidays or somewhere around January, maybe, or even you can start from like September when the undergraduate application starts, and you can just send them an email. Try to keep communicating with them. They will give you an email. Sometimes they don't even give you an email, but they'll be like, okay, just apply through GKS and we will see afterwards. So that is their way of telling you that, okay, just apply and then go through the process and we will see how many applicants apply. Because sometimes in the other general crowd who did not reach out to the professor, there are good students that they would like to pick and work with, right? So it's not mandatory, but you can definitely reach out.
Okay, so even if I get the email, so how should I mention it in my application?
So when you're writing anywhere that you're trying to explain your motivation to come to Korea and studying that particular major and under that particular professor, those places you can mention it. So I would say in your personal statement at the end, the last section is why this university and what motivates you to choose only this university if we are applying through university track. So that's when you can mention that I've been already contacting this professor. I'm inspired by their work and I would love to work in his lab and this and that. So that scenario would come in your personal statement at the end. And that's why I want to go to this particular university like that.
Okay, and what if somehow I'm applying to embassy track? So how should I mention that I have got from one university, one professor sent me this email, and so I'm also applying to this university or some kind of anyway.
Right. So in embassy track, I usually tell people that do not specify because that particular personal statement is going to exact same copy is going to go to all the three universities. So the moment they see, okay, she has already reached out to one professor, the other two will reject you. And you don't want that. So keep it generalized. In the embassy track personal statement, at the end, you can write that I have been reaching out to professors from the same degree or the people who are working on this particular thing that I also want to work on. And I've been getting some positive feedback from them. So I would love to, get this scholarship and start working with them. So keep it generalized. Do not mention university name or the professor name in that scenario.
Okay, Dee, thank you so much for the answer. I have another question. Since you said that we participate in competition and sometimes we win it. So I participated in few of the competition where I wrote articles and essay, and sometimes I participated in photography contest. So, like you said that if we have published or anything, then we should pay, like put up the paper in that. So, if I have won any competition, like such as an essay writing competition, so should I also put that thing by
No.
printing it
So
out that this was my
in
essay?
that essay writing competition, you must have got a participation certificate, or if you got a place, you will get a place certificate or anything like that. So just the certificate would be fine. If your article is academic and you want the person who is going through your profile or going through your documents want to read, you want them to read it and understand your motivation to apply to certain fields, then you should put in your article too. But if it's a general article, just put in the certificate, it will be fine.
Okay, so like I also did something a few months back where I worked on a project for rural development of women and everything. That was from Mhrd Abhiyan. So I was a part. So that was a whole project work where I did research and everything. So should I add that too? Like there is no certificate, but there is certificate of internship only. But if I want to mention my project work also, then
So this project is definitely something you did out of your own interest, and also something that can make a huge difference in certain life, let's say. So it's a good project. So I would say just put in the certificate of internship, and while you're writing your personal statement, put in a line that you are also motivated to work in such organizations to do so and so, and you worked under this project. So that way you can put in the certificate of internship in the certificates.
okay, understood. Thank you so much, Dee, for answering my question.
Okay, I think we have a lot of chat questions. So
Yeah,
sorry.
okay.
Yeah, first let's go ahead with the question in the chat box.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There are quite a few. So
yes.
I'll just quickly read them. Okay. Okay, I did my graduation in BCom, so I can switch as well. Yes, definitely you can switch. Just find a link. I want to apply for fine arts painting, but what are my chances? I couldn't find any student who got. Okay, this is something I want to mention. There are certain majors. There is no such major that cannot be selected. If you are a very good candidate, you definitely deserve the scholarship. You will get it, right? Major doesn't matter. If the university is providing you that major or is providing that course, then you can definitely apply for it. KGSP doesn't prioritize some majors over other, but you have to understand that the number of applicants applying to certain major is more. So that's when your major weighs out. Like if you're the only person going for fine arts, you don't have any competition, but you also have competition against sciences and all the other majors where the professors are trying to get in the scholars. So that's where your competition is. So it is a slight chance that your major might get overlooked. But if you have a very good portfolio, I think you should go through it. Okay. Do not study something that you don't want to study. Then it becomes very difficult. So if you want fine arts, just go for fine arts.
Sorry, my apologies.
All right.
The question is what Dipali has asked, which is also very much important, and that is what about the usage of Scholaro? Like many of the scholars has made a videos, and also I think from that there also only the question is coming. Can you just tell about that? Did you use Scholaro, and if you used, then how did you actually make it real?
So from my experience, when other students were converting their grades using this Scholaro, I don't know about this. I did not do it. I was a 10-point grade system thing, so I didn't have to. But whoever did that, I remember they just got the printout once they have converted their scores, got it authenticated from university. So check with your university if they will accept that document or not. Once you have that authenticated, notarize it, and it's good to go. So you can submit that as your transcript in a converted way. But your university should accept it, the online conversion.
Yeah.
And if your university doesn't accept, I think university provides their own converted document as well. So ask your university which process they would be comfortable with, and always authenticate your mark sheets, transcripts, and degree. Those 3 things are very important.
Okay, one thing I want to personally ask that it's like I'm that kind of students who get their percentage of grades in a percentage. Okay, so in my matter, like if I got, for an example, 81 point, not 80, like some 1 or 2% less, like 79, 70. So how can I convert it into a grading system which is required in the application form?
Okay, so there are 2 things. Ask your university, do they have a conversion scale already? Or again, you can use the online system to convert your grades and then get that document authenticated from university. For example, my university provides in a grade system like A, B, C, D. So I used to get my scores in a grade system, but then at the end of the document, they would, okay, I don't know if you can see.
It's
they
a
would
blur.
like give
It's
me
blur.
It's blur. Okay, let me just background. Let me just none. Okay, now you see my horrifying dormitory. That's fine. So here at the back, they would tell me like which grade is how much points, and also at the bottom, which is covered by the Apostille thing, they will tell me how much CGPA or percentage I get, and they give me both the formulas. So what I did was I took a printout of my transcript and the back of it, and then got it Apostille like that. So that way, NIID knows like how am I converting my grades into CGPA, right? So you can do that. If your university doesn't have a system where they provide you the conversion formula, then do it online and then get authenticated.
Okay, that simply means that if we like converted our grades or percentage to Scalaro, then we have to take that whole document to our university and get authenticated.
Authenticated, yeah.
I guess everyone is clear because everyone was getting confused by that thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we will take Chinma. Sorry, where we were? Sorry, I'm lost completely.
Yeah,
how to send art portfolio? I have to send it with my application, both embassy and university. Ayushi signed.
Okay, so I think for the art majors, there is another scholarship which is similar to KGSP or a subdivision of KGSP. I'm not pretty sure because I'm not aware of this. But in that scholarship, they clearly mention that if you are applying to any of the art majors, you should send in your portfolio. Here also, few of my friends who have applied for like the media studies, communication studies, they sent in their portfolio. Like some of them sent them a link to their online portfolio that works too. Or if you have a hard copy of your portfolio, you can send that with your application. So if you are applying to any of those majors, portfolio works. You should send it to show them your work. Like till now, what have you done?
Oh, really? Thanks. I am a media student. That information is very useful for me.
Whatever you have done,
and so as
in your major. Yeah. Sorry.
No, I was saying so as Sampriti and me, we both are media students.
Yeah.
Okay, good. For media
we are from media.
Yeah, it's good that you send in your portfolio. Even if it's an online portfolio, just send them a link in your application. Like you can check my work here, and they will, if they're interested.
Or we can just like print out our best of the works and put it, because I feel like there's so many applications, they won't even go through the trouble of like clicking on my link and checking my profile. I just feel that way.
Actually, honestly, trust me, they do. They do check your work. No matter what you do, they check each and every single thing you sent. They want to read through it. Yes, if your SOP or your personal statement is already very impressive, then they do not go through the trouble of checking everything. They already know they want to interview you. But they see some potential and they want to see if this student really stand a chance, then they go through the whole thing.
Okay. And also in that, on those lines only, with the LOR thing, sorry, not LOR, the email you sent to the professor.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, since I am from a media background, we don't have labs, right? So, I have contacted some professors. One professor told me that he sees that I have this interest, but then he said that I don't have a say who gets in our graduate program. So,
Yes,
so
exactly.
should I like?
Because he doesn't have. So when a professor has a lab, they get a grant, let's say some money to support his students, the students who he is working with or under him, right? That's why the professor has a slight say in those scenarios. But since you do not have a lab to attend or do not need a position, a slot in the lab, you will be attending a normal class like I will be. So the professor doesn't have a say. He will on the once you're selected and you're going for that particular subject, you just choose the professor yourself actually here. So you will be given like 4 professors, and whoever professor's class you want to attend, you can go through. So they cannot just give you an email in that scenario stating that, yes, I want this student here. So that's why he said like that.
हाँ, so like there is no, मतलब उनको भेजने का तुक नहीं बनता ना फिर मेल और.
हाँ, exactly. You don't have to actually reach out to them. It's fine. Your work will speak for itself.
Okay, another important question is which Ayushi has only asked, that she has some certificates in Hindi. So does she need to translate the entire certificate, and how she do it? Or any regional certificate?
Okay. The translation, like any of the important documents, like your birth certificates or your identification cards, or even if your grade cards, some of the universities provide you in regional languages, those needs to be translated, and the translated version needs to be notarized, authenticated. But when it comes to extracurricular certificates, you can self-translate them and provide the non-translated version with it, and it's okay, because it's just a way for you to show that you were interested in this thing. So it's called extra for a reason. You don't have to get it notarized or anything. You can self-translate it and provide those 2 documents together.
Okay, Chinmay has asked that as some internship don't provide certificates, so to prove that I did that internship, can I attach the acceptance letter? If yes, then do I have to notarize it later on?
Okay. First of all, I think the internship should provide you a certificate of completion. But if they have not, then acceptance letter is perfectly fine. Get that printed and attach it. For me, the company I was working with when I was teaching English, they did not provide me a certificate stating that, or a document stating that I'm working with them, because I was sort of like a contractor or a third-party person freelancing it, right? So what I did was 8 pages of the acceptance letter, like, yes, this person will be working with us and these are the terms and conditions. I printed everything and then provided that as a proof that, yes, I was working here. So yes, you can provide the acceptance letter.
Okay, Ria has asked, for award section, should we just add the award related to our major, or can it be from our school days as well as if it's national or state level?
Everything. Just provide everything. If you have ever participated in like 100-meter run and got a certificate, you should be proud of it and provide it. It's okay. Everything works, not just your academic accomplishment.
Next question is Apurva has asked that he did an internship in a Korean company, and he got a certificate. Can he mention that in SOP? That is very.
Yes. So did this internship SOP is you should in the personal statement you can give a hint of it. How did this internship help you? It's a very good advantage that you have, that you already work with a company that has the it's a Korean company, but don't make the whole thing about it. If the work that you did in this internship ties up to your major, that's good. You can definitely provide the certificate, and then just maybe mention it in one line that did your interest in coming to Korea originate from there? Then it's a whole new story. You can explain the whole scenario, like I started working there to get some experience, and then I learned about the country, and now I want to go there to study further, and this scholarship will help me support that study. But if this internship was one of the choices while you were also doing other things, then just mention it in one line, like I also worked with a Korean company and I understand the culture of it now, and it would be easier for me or something. So this would add up to your advantage, but it definitely depends on how you frame your sentences. Make the story out of it.
So
I hope I did not confuse you.
no, it's okay. Ria has if I am submitting my scholar conversion mark sheet approved by my college, do I need to additionally attach how my college grades actually calculate?
Yes, that would work. Provide your non-converted transcript in whatever grade point it is, and then the one converted and authenticated. Provide both.
You meant to say the original and the conversion which we did in online?
Yeah, just right on the top. Yeah.
Okay. iPhone. iPhone has asked that I did my grad from Delhi University, but it was from a correspondence. So am I eligible? Like from distance, I guess, or like working and.
I'm sorry. I have no knowledge about it. Like I said, I have no idea about different kind of degrees, the diplomas and the distance studies. So you will have to do a little more research on this. I can ask a few friends here too to understand if any of them ever did a distance studying course or anything like that, and I can get back to you guys. So I wouldn't know right now.
In my another question. In my transcript, the GPA is converted at the back. It's 7.5 GPA. Is it okay, or still I need to use it to use Scholar?
In my transcript, the GPA is converted at the back. It's 7.5 GPA. Is it okay, or still I need to? So 7.5 GPA out of a 10-point scale is already accepted. So you need to have minimum 8. So that's where I would be concerned, not about the conversion. If it's out of 8-point scale, then maybe you have to convert it. So I need to know the context here. 7.5 out of how much?
Ayushi Sahani has asked, my birth certificate is not available right now. Like, what can I use in place of that for proving family relation or citizen proof?
Okay. I had a birth certificate. It was in absolute bad condition, and I would say getting a birth certificate is the best way to prove your family, nationality, and everything. But if you don't have it, the other options you have is there is a document provided by the municipal council or the department that states that your family, like your mother and father, have Indian nationality. So either get that document if you cannot get a birth certificate. But since you have time, you can definitely apply for a birth certificate and get it now. It's so much easier nowadays. So maybe try for that.
Okay, Bunny, Ayushi, I will get back to your second question just for a minute. Our certificate section should be get over. That's why I am taking Bunny's question. So Bunny has asked, I have few e-certificate and few internship certificate online. How should I add? Will they be considered valid or should I not write them?
Okay, so all your e-certificates or online internship certificates, get a printout and just use them as it is. You do not need to authenticate your extra certificates. It works and they will be accepted.
Okay, now Ayushi has take up one on the other topic which is important, that how can we make our essay stand out from others? It is really difficult to write study plan because the curriculum I found on the website of the university, it is difficult to understand. And also I will just add on one thing, that can you just tell us the difference between SOP and personal statement and study?
Okay, so there are two major documents that you're writing in your application. One is the personal statement or the study purpose SOP that you call. That is one thing. And the other thing is the study plan. So I hope that difference is clear. In personal statement, it's like an essay where you introduce yourself as a candidate. What have you done? What are your achievements? But not in detail. I will touch on that. How your life has been, what did you study, what is your motivation to select South Korea, why GKS scholarship will help you and how will it help you, and why this particular university or major. So these are some of the points that you have to mention. Also, the application provided by the NIIT has some points already there which you can touch base on. I would say try to include all of that, but some of the points can be extra too, like why Korea and why this particular major. So that's how you make a all-rounded personal statement. Study plan, on the other hand, is a document where you will tell them how you plan on studying here. Now, that does not have to be super detailed. Some of the people try to pinpoint each major that each subject they would want to take within the 2 years of time. But once you come here, the reality is sometimes you might not be able to take a certain subject in that semester. It's already full, the class is full, you have to take it. So those scenarios are there. What I would suggest is in study plan, just mention the subjects you wish to take to get a degree in this major. For example, for international business, I went on to the university website, checked all the subjects that were under my major, and picked up only few that I knew I want to 100% take. You don't have to put a plan for all the credit points, or you don't have to mention all the subjects, but try to, again, convey a message that I'm studying this major, I'm trying to pursue this major, and I've already looked into some of the initial requirements to get this particular major. So that's how your point of view should be when you're writing this document.
But in embassy track, it has to be generalized. No? So like, I can't say that I take this particular subject because it's different for every university.
Right. But when you, like, for example, you took 3 universities, you open up their curriculum, you will see that your major has certain baseline subjects that have to be there. For me, if I want to study international business, no matter which university I'm studying from, I have to learn about business. I have to learn about, for let's say, how the overseas business happen, like one of the subject that covers that. So that subject will be common in all the 3 universities. So just pick up the common subjects that will help you put a good foundation for your major and mention those. You don't have to be very specific to the university curriculum.
Okay.
Okay, Dipali just answered your question that out of 10, she got 7.5. So she is eligible.
Out of 10. Okay. So out of 10, minimum is 8. So that slims out your chance. But if you can get the 20% and in the top 20 document, then you can definitely apply.
Okay. Virali has asked that can voter ID or PAN card ID work?
Voter ID and PAN card is not valid. Do not even bother about PAN card. Aadhaar card might work. If your parents have passports, that will work. Voter ID also works. Yes, voter ID will work. If you have voter ID, that works. So those are some of the documents that work. Aadhaar card is also an iffy situation. If you have one more document to send, one more ID proof along with the Aadhaar card, then Aadhaar card works. Otherwise, Aadhaar card is also invalid.
Okay. Leah has asked, my university has provided me with the GPA point out of 10 for every papers and for every semester. In that case, how to calculate the GPA and CG?
Okay. So what you have to do is take an average of all the semester. That would be your SGPA, semester grade point average, right? CGPA would be the cumulative. So, sorry, the one with all the semesters and the average would be your CGPA. And whatever your university has provided out of 10 would be your SGPA. So, I think, if I'm not wrong, in application, they ask for CGPA. So, add up everything, divided by the number of semesters, and you get your CGPA.
Okay. Dipali, she just, few minutes ago, she just answered about process statement and SOP. Okay, Payal I will get back to your question, Sampriti. Just a minute. Payal was raising her hand for a long time. So we would like to take her question. Payal, are you there?
Sure.
Payal?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry for your waiting, Payal. Just go ahead.
No, it's okay. Everyone has like valid questions. So my question would be about how via the embassy track or the university track, if a candidate writes in their personal statement that they do have like financial issues and they would like this scholarship to give them the money because they really need it. How would that affect the candidate's whole profile compared to someone who wants it because they like Korea or have an inclination towards the country as a subject?
Right. So that factor of selection is not too major, if I'm being honest. NID really looks into a person as a candidate. Just because you need the money cannot be the reason you deserve the scholarship. However, I would personally say that just mention about your family background very, very briefly in the personal statement, but do not just keep the whole idea of getting the scholarship for money. That's not valid, actually. That's not a good idea to show. You should be showing your motivation towards the academics and what Korea provides on the basis of research platforms and the diversity in the majors that they provide. So keep your personal statement and your information to that. But if you still want to point out that you are not financially that strong to support your studies, definitely put in a line like, my family background is like this, and getting a scholarship would help me pursue my major and keep studying further, and I don't have to worry about the financial factor. Now, if you mention this point during your interview, it's a possibility that they will try to dig in more. What does your father do? How big is your family? What do other people of your family do? So make sure you only put in that if really that's your financial situation.
Okay. Thank you.
Now we will get back to Sampriti's question. If we get a top 20% certificate from college, where do we add it in the documents chronology?
Add it after your grade card, transcript, degree, then provide that document that I am 20% up, so that once they go through your transcript, they will know, okay, even if her total CGPA is not meeting our criteria, but she is out of the top 20.
Okay, Ayushi has asked for university track, fine art painting, which means please suggest universities because there are a lot of universities providing fine arts painting. I emailed them asking for the information of the department, but only few replied me back.
Okay, if you replied you back, that's a very good thing. Some of the universities don't even reply at all. But I cannot suggest a university, a single university, or any university for that matter, because at the end of the day, you have to study that major. You need to research whether which university would be the best. Sometimes people just focus on the sky universities for everything, but trust me, there are certain subjects or certain majors which are taught so much better in the type B or other type A universities compared to the sky university. So it's not always about the popularity of the university, but if you go through their curriculum, if you see their achievements in that particular major, you will understand which university is strong enough to support your major and the studies.
Okay, iPhone has asked, I am working as well with a MNC. So should I mention that as well? Will it be beneficial?
Working with what? MNC. Okay, MNC. Okay. So I was working while I applied for the scholarship. I worked for 3 years, and I did mention it. So I wouldn't say it's a plus point, but it definitely shows that you have worked in the field that you studied for. For me, I was working as an engineer, but then if I just mention I was working as an engineer and now I want to study business, they would ask me why. So I tried to connect those two things as well. While I was working as an engineer, I was connecting with clients globally. That's what made me interested in studying business or international business. So that's how I with the major you either already graduated with or going to pursue, then definitely you should mention it.
Okay, I guess there are no more questions in chat section.
Okay.
But I 2-3 questions I also get from the students from other group. They asked me that if they like 1 year study Korean language study plan was there. So if they won't able to like get topic 3 or topic 4 or whatever the required topic they need to get at that one within that 1 year. So what will happen?
So once you come here, the criteria are slightly different, I would say. So depending on the major you have selected and in what language the major will be taught. So if your major is completely in Korean, you are expected to get topic 4 and above within 1 year, and that's the minimum. If your major is taught in English 100%, then you're expected to get topic 3 within 1 year and above. And if it is a 50-50, again, that will be counted in teaching in Korean itself, because even if it says 50-50, the courses will be taught in Korean. So you will be expected to get topic 4 and above. So those are the baselines. Now, if you do not get it within 1 year, for example, you are expected to get topic 4 within 1 year, but you could only get topic 3, then you can ask NIAD basically for an extension of 6 months, stating that, yes, I lack in getting the baseline marks. So just give me 6 more months to try and get topic 4 that is required for me to start my graduation university studies, right? But if you are getting like if you do not even get topic 3, which is the baseline, then your scholarship will be terminated. So that's one thing you have to be careful about.
Okay, from my side, one more question is it possible to extend my scholarship for my dissertation composition even after my scholarship period is terminated?
I don't think I understand the question correctly. Can you ask
It's
it
just
again?
that, for an example, for masters, like 3 years
Mhm.
has been given, and by any chance, or in that case, okay, don't take the example of masters, but take the example of PhD people who are doing research. Okay, they have given 4 years in total to complete their PhD, and if their research has not able to finish by within that 4 years, so will NID or GKS give them permission to extend for some time?
Yes. So you will get extension. Like some people take 5 years, some people take 6 years, but the criteria that will differ is the support you get from NID. So if you take more time than the actual defined time by NID, I think they reduce the support by 50%. So they give you the stipend only 50%. But in those cases, your professor can help you financially. So like I was telling you, professors get a fund that they can support their students in the lab. So if your professor is ready to help, so you can be financially supported in that scenario. But yes, you can extend your time if it takes more years.
Okay, iPhone just want to ask something. I am just unmuting him. Yes,
Okay.
with the iPhone, I have unmute. I have send you a request to unmute yourself. You can ask the question if you accepted it. And sorry, Jyoti, actually I am having a lunch, so that's why I just put off the.
It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. Shruti is here with me on the video call, so it's good.
Yeah.
Okay. I cannot hear you. Maybe
I don't know iPhone your name, but I had already like unmuted you. I have asked to unmute you. Oh, sorry, it's Komal.
maybe
Okay, Komal. I have
it's so much.
already unmuted you. I have asked you, but I don't know. Maybe some technical glitch is happening.
Maybe you can type in your question. I will answer it. Komal.
Yeah, that would be.
Hi, Jyoti. Gaurav this side.
Hi, Gaurav.
How to contact busy GKS scholars?
Well, you have to reach out to them on Instagram.
Okay, so after getting to Korea, they have switched to Instagram from
Instagram,
WhatsApp.
yes. They do not use WhatsApp anymore.
Great, great.
Okay, everyone here, we have Gaurav. He has not one, but multiple scholarships. So if you have any questions other than GKS scholarship, he'll be able to answer that as well. It's good to have you here.
No, I think you are doing good, so you should carry on.
Thank you.
I just came here to say hi, so just
Hi.
It's nice
You
to have
can text me. We'll talk over text.
yeah. Sure, carry on.
Okay.
Okay, Komal has asked one question.
Yeah.
So I did graduation from Delhi University, but it's correspondence. So in correspondence, you don't provide above 70%. So I should get 20% thing for this, right?
Yes, that is right. So we had some of these cases, students who graduated from DU never get above 70 for some reason. So 100% you can go to your professor, like your university, and ask for I'm in the top 20% of the class certificate or the document. It works.
So Jyoti, now I want to ask you, have done engineering, then like international business, right? So it's like now I am asking, what motivates you to go into Korea, and do you like right now you are in Korea? So do you actually feel that the field which you have chosen has actually a any kind of what should I say future in Korea?
Okay. So my motivation initially started. My motivation is very different. So when I was teaching English online, there's another Korean government program where they allow foreigners to come in for an year or like on a contract basis and teach as a foreigner teacher. So you teach English to the Korean students. So I initially started applying to that program. So GKS wasn't my only motivation. Korea as a country was in my charts way before GKS, right? So I started with that, and I got to know about the country, the program. I applied. I was rejected because my nationality or India does not come under English native countries, right? After that, I moved on to GKS. So Korea as a country, I did not just look into it because of GKS. So that's how I started learning about Korea. And then later GKS, because while I was working, I actually wanted to study more about business studies and move into the management profiles and just not be stuck in the engineering positions. So that's why I wanted to study business. And GKS comes in handy. It has Korea, it has business studies. So yes, that's how I started.
So, any kind of special preparation you had took before applying, or is it like you have got to know like within a time span of 1 month when GKS guidelines has just given, or you have known it for a year or 6 months?
Okay. Yeah, I knew about GKS when I was applying to the EPIC program, which is the English program in Korea. And I already knew about GKS, but at that time, I didn't have the motivation to apply to GKS. Once I was rejected in EPIC program in September, I started working towards my GKS profile. So you can say I took around 5 months to work on the whole thing. And till the last moment, you will be changing things and adding more stuff. So this process is a long process. I would say you cannot just prepare your profile in like a month.
Okay. So Shmita Banerjee has asked, hey, I did my graduation in 2018, and after that I am into professional degree courses, which is company secretary, which is similar to chartered accountants. As it's taking time, I want to apply for my master's. So will this gap year will affect my application? This is a very good question. Gap year's question.
Okay. Okay. No. So the gap year, if you consider like me graduating in 2018, and I then worked for 3 years, and now I want to get back into studies, right? Masters. So if that's how you calculate the gap year, I would say like the academic gap year, then no, it doesn't matter. And even if you had a gap year after your studies and then you started your graduation or whatever, so the gap year doesn't matter per se for your application. You just have to have a good explanation why there was a gap year. That's it. It doesn't weigh down your chances of getting this scholarship.
Yeah, I got one question personally. As it has been said, as the COVID was happening in between, so within that time span, like for 1 or 2 years, that student is not working on any, like she has to left her job and even not studying. So how she will justify this 2 year or whatever the time she has took the gap after COVID or within that when the lockdown and these things were happening?
Okay. Very good question. A lot of students were suffering through the whole COVID thing, the degrees, the graduation marks, everything. So what I would suggest is still it will not weigh down your chances. What you have to do is when you stopped working, everyone understand that COVID had financial impact on people, right? So you can mention that you were not officially working anywhere because of the whole COVID situation, and it's perfectly acceptable. It's fine. It's not your mistake, but you can show them how you personally grew, not professionally. You were not doing anything, but personally, were you doing something? What did you do for two years? Like, did you start a new hobby? Were you still doing internships maybe or something online? Any of the work that you did in those 2 years to personally have a growth in your life and not just stop just because COVID is there, you can mention all those things for those that span of time.
Okay,
It will be accepted.
the same student is asking that does Coursera and I guess she did some Coursera and Udemy courses. So she's asking, does Coursera and Udemy courses certificates which are happening online?
Yeah.
Will that give a kind of weightage to the candidate? Yeah. This is also
it does give a weightage, as in your profile will be stronger. So compared to, like, you're studying a major and somebody else is also studying major A, both have same baseline, but you did some extra courses, you completed them, you have the certificate, you have the knowledge, so your profile will outweigh them. So it definitely adds a benefit.
Komal has asked that any document and certificate from the school time till now should be apostille or notarized. Okay, Jyoti, can you just actually explain the in a brief postal process, like how you did after, even if you get selected after second round or first round or whatever round after the apostille is needed.
Okay. So first of all, when you get the
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt. And also, please mention that how much like amount. Just give a round of like how much amount.
Okay.
Could be spent.
Right. It is an expensive process. I'm going to put it out there. But let's say you have the application forms out, you have the checklist. Now, the first doubt that you have is what document to be notarized and what not to be notarized. So anything that is academic, like your transcript, degree certificate, professional degrees, all those needs to be notarized. Your identification card do not need to be notarized. Your extracurricular certificates do not need to be notarized. Those don't need an authentication. But your degree certificate and your transcript need a authentication saying that, yes, these are the correct marks and this is the degree that you have received. Okay. And once you get the notification out on studyinkorea.com that this year's GKS applications are out, they have an university information document. Each university will tell you whether you need to notarize the document or apostille them before the first round. So read that. You already have your list of universities you want to apply to. Go to that university's information and read, do they want you to send the notarized documents or the apostille is mandatory. For mine, even though they mentioned notarized is fine, they later asked for apostille. So personally, I would say apostille your documents. That's the best way to go for. But if you have financial glitch and if you don't want to spend that much money before the first round, go for notarization and just read if the university specifically asks for apostille. They are now making it mandatory to apostille it before first round, but read through the notification information. Now, how to get your document apostille? So notarization is pretty simple. You go on Google and type notary near me, and whoever is like, you will find a lot of notary people near you, and they will notarize the document anywhere from 10 rupees to 15-20 rupees per page, right? And you can get them notarized. Apostillization, on the other hand, what I did was I called the Korean embassy in India. I asked them to provide me a number or anyone who provides this kind of service, and they are good, but not everyone should call them. Maybe one person can call and get the number or take the number from me. They will give you a number in your state. Like, you can reach out to this person. They provide this kind of services to apostille your documents. Once you reach out to them, they will tell you the prices. They have services like pick up from home, drop at home. And sometimes they're like, if you don't want to use that service, you can go to their office, submit your documents and wait for a few days, and they will return it to you. And the payment it can vary vastly. Some people got 1,000 rupees per page. Apostille, and some people went up to 5,000, 6,000. So I would suggest go through the services that Korean embassy suggests, so that the prices are on the lower end. So for me, it was on the lower end. I still spent a lot because I had 9 documents to get apostille. If you have only like few transcripts and a degree, then your prices would be comparatively low. Apostillization should only be done for your transcript and your degree certificate and nothing else. Okay. I hope I did not confuse you guys.
Thank you. This is one of the vast topics which we every time discuss and got confused, and then again back to square one. Okay, so Shushmita has asked, yeah, what about internship certificates? Internship certificate should also be notarized?
No. None of your certificate that provides an information about the extra work you did or any of the achievements that you got, they don't need to be notarized. Just a Xerox of the certificate will work.
Okay, one question has personally came to me that she worked for freelancer for 1 year with different companies, and she don't have proper letter of appointment, but she has a contract. So what should she do to show if she needs?
So when I was working as a freelancer for the English company, I just put in the contract, like the main document where they state how much you get paid, how much is your working hour, and all of that. So any document that states that this is the company you were working for and this is you who is working, so your name should be in that document would work. You can provide that.
Okay. Bunny is asking that what about 12th and 10th and internship certificate?
10th and 12th. So you did some extra internships in your 10th and 12th centers?
No, she's Bunny is asking.
I think she meant the mark sheet.
Like 12th class, 10th. First thing I also want to know that is 10th and 12th certificates mark sheet are important in masters, because undergraduate it is obviously important, but what about masters?
Right.
And also she asked separately, or she asked separately that what about the internship certificate?
Okay.
Internship has
Yeah, so the internship certificates, no notarization, just provide them, adds a good value. But for masters and PhD, you do not have to provide your 10th or 12th marks card if you're applying through university track. I think embassy asks you to provide 10th and 12th also, but it's just like a exception, I would say. Like, it's their personal requirement. It's not the scholarship requirement. So scholarship doesn't base on your 10th and 12th for masters. It only matters or cares about your graduate marks.
Okay. Virali has asked, can you share the number? And so Virali, she will reply you that personally, I guess.
Okay, so I have been in contact with Shruti Buddeva.
Yes.
Yeah. So I have been talking to her. I will send the number to her. You guys can then share within yourself, call them, ask if they provide the service in your state, prices and everything, and you can get the apostille done from there. It would be easier. They need 3 days. I'm sorry, not years. That was very bad. 3 days, but it depends on your state. Where are you sending your documents from? So for me, it was Jaipur, so very short distance to Delhi, so 3 days. But they will give you an approximate time, like 5 days, 7 days. So you can get your documents apostille accordingly.
Okay. Shruti, just hold your question for a minute. I am just covering the chat questions. I am just taking those, and after that, after Virali only, Chinmay, I will ask the question.
Okay.
Okay, so Chinmay has asked, what does notarization contain? As you said that it costs 10 to 15 rupees per page. In Mumbai, it costs 150 or sometimes per page. That's why. Can you please elaborate it so I can notarize accordingly?
Yeah, the notarization should not take 150 rupees. That's for sure. I will document if I have one. Let me see. Okay, I will show you on this itself. So a notarization will be just like a stamp like this, where the person who has the power to notarize your document, the notary, the person, puts a stamp saying that I have checked this document and it has all the correct information. So if I have this document and I take a copy of it, they will check your original, see if the copy matches it, and then notarizes the copy of your document. So that's what a notarization is. It will look like a stamp. But the apostille, on the other hand, is like I would say sticker thing, and it has a number which defines like your apostille number. So this can be used to check if it's authenticated or not.
Okay,
So I hope that. And it should not be 150 per page, just to be clear. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your
Find
answer.
a good notary.
Virali has asked, what if I have my own as a founder non-profit organization which recently started? How to mention that in application?
Just mention it as life experience in your personal statement, like what motivated you to start it, how that changed you as a person, how that particular thing will be benefited when you move to Korea, or your life in Korea as a student. Everything doesn't have to link to your academic achievements. Sometimes it can be things that you mention just to show that yes, I can survive in Korea. My life would be easier because I have done so many things in my country already. So if you guys travel or run any of the organization, like it is a stress to start an organization. So you can put in that thought and try to structure it properly in your personal statement. So that's the only section you can put this experience in.
Okay, Ria was raising her hand. Yes, Ria, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. The thing is, I have my GPA conversion out of 10. So in the guidelines, we have the Appendix A GPA conversion table. In that, we don't have for 10 scale. So how do I convert it for 100-point scale? Am I making sense?
Yes and no. So you're telling me that in the application, it says out of 100?
No, in the application, we have to fill for the 100-point scale as well. But in the guidelines, they have only provided the 100-point scale for 4.0, 4.3, 4.5, and 5.0 scale, and not for the 10.01.
Are you mentioning about the last year application?
Yeah, guidelines.
Because last year when I applied, I only provided the 10-point scale and it worked. So I'm pretty sure you can provide your 10-point scale. Yeah, you don't have to convert them.
Yeah, but in the end of the application form, you have like a 100-point scale thing in which you have to write.
Not a 100-point scale. Okay, I remember now. It's a last column that says out of 100 how much, right? Yeah, you have to just. It's like simple math. You don't have to have a document stating that, but all your semester marks, like the CGPA, and at the end, you will have out of 10, but change it to out of 100. Simple math, multiply by 100, that would be out of your 100. So if I get 8.6 out of 10, it would be 86, if that makes sense. One more zero?
Yeah, I got
86.
you. Yeah,
86.
yeah. All right. Yeah, thanks for that. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, Jyoti, one last question from my side. I don't know again if they raise the question. But one last question from my side is that how's your life right now in Korea? Like where you have reached Korea, so how's Korea treating you? How the professors are there? How the environment is over there?
Whatever you think about Korea, it will be like that, but with small trouble. You cannot expect your life to be absolutely perfect because being a student here is challenging, I would say. You have to start managing your finances, the money you get, you have to understand where to spend, how much to spend. It took me so many days to understand the conversion. Am I buying it for cheap or is it too expensive for my country, right? And the professors are amazing here, actually. Everyone is really supportive. They understand that you come from a different country and they do not pressurize you to communicate with them in Korean. They totally understand your situation as a student from a foreign land. So they are very supportive. You will find friends from all over the world who are very supportive as well. For example, I'm vegetarian, so it's not like my friends forced me to hang out with them just to not eat with me or anything. Like, I'm not outcasted. They understand all this. So I think when you move here, you will find people and you will understand that all over the world the mentality or the human mentality is the same. And that's the best part of being here, to learn that everyone has a perception about life and how things work in their country. And overall, the people in Korea are very sweet. Everyone is interested and intrigued by your presence. They'll be like in India, when we see a foreigner, we would stare for a few seconds. So they would stare at you for a few seconds just to see that you're a foreigner. But yeah, it's very, very amazing. And every day you learn something new. Mostly everything is automated and you have to learn to use it. It's a journey. And it will take you about 6 months to just understand the whole thing and then slowly start enjoying it. So it's been amazing.
Are people friendly in Korea? Like they are like ready to help kind of thing?
Yes, 100% they help you. And now Korea is slowly transitioning into understanding the foreign needs, if that makes sense. So products which you could never see before are available now. And kind of food, like it was only a meat-based country, but you have so many vegetarian options or vegan options now. So they are also changing as per the requirement. Like they see the foreigner population is increasing, people from other countries are coming here, so they try to cater to their needs as well. So everyone is really understanding.
And how for the Indians? मतलब Indians के लिए survive करना कैसा रहेगा उधर? I mean, because mostly मतलब mix up ही रहता है vegetarian and non-vegetarian का. So like जैसे यहाँ पे stores वगैरह होते हैं जैसे राशन and all. I mean, even if you are living in town, you have certain needs like Maggie and all. वो सब the Indian products की availability उधर है या फिर सब Korean ही adopt करते हैं?
Right now I'm in Gwangju, so it's not like a huge city. It's still a pretty huge city, but some people who are even in the rural areas, availability of everything is there. And even if you order stuff online, Korea delivery system is amazing, so you get it within a day, right? But I would say if you're coming here, try to eat the food the country provides you. That's a good experience for you. But if you miss home food and some things that you definitely want from your homeland, you can get it. It's little expensive, but there are shops and there are marts that only sell foreign goods, so you can get it.
Okay. ठीक है. There, Chinmay has asked, can you please show the notarized page again?
Oh, okay. Don't take screenshots, guys. No, you can take it. It's fine.
That will be of no use, even if they take.
Here, this is how a notarization would look like. It would say notarized here, and the name of your notary or the sign of your notary, and it will be like a blue stamp.
And that big one is of Apostille, right? That this one, yes, a passport kind of thing.
Yeah. So this is the Apostille that has your name and everything. And these are the other stamps, like your document goes through multiple checks for Apostille. So each person who checks it puts a stamp of their, like attests it.
How much
And
days
then
does it take? You have told for Apostille, you said minimum.
for me, it took 3 days, but suppose you're sending it from, let's say Mumbai, or you're sending it from Bangalore or Andhra Pradesh, like different places to Delhi, then it can take a little longer.
Okay, okay. So yeah, Vaishnavi has asked, hi, I just wanted to know how do you Apostille transcript? Like, do they stamp on original documents?
Yeah, so this is my original mark sheet, and they apostille the original. So Apostille process is only for your original documents. Now, if you get multiple copy of this original document, then get one of them apostille, that's fine. But if you only get one, so get that original one apostilled, and then keep using the copy of that apostille document, and it will
So
work.
even if you are sending our original copy, we have to apostille it.
Oh, no. If you're getting multiple originals, then you don't have to.
Okay.
You can just send in your original document, yeah.
Okay.
But make sure you have other copies because they do not return it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Ria has asked that you can try to apostille the photocopies of the original document as well. Some consultancies do provide that.
Yeah. So that's a very tricky way of getting your documents apostilled. I don't know. My service providers did not suggest that. But some of them, what would they do is take a photocopy, a color photocopy of your original document. Then first attestation on that will be like true copy. So a blue stamp stating true copy, and that will make that document pseudo original. And then you get that pseudo original document apostilled. So if you want to do that, I'm pretty sure some services provide that.
Vaishnavi, my college only provide one original degree certificate. So do in in all part of India, I guess. Only one original doc certificate or degree certificate we get, and
yeah. So if you're getting only one, just get it apostilled and keep using the copy of it.
Okay, so guys, any more question? Because she also have to leave, so
yeah, we can have another session like this. If you have more questions, like a lot of questions, then we can again join someday. It's just that my schedule is slightly busy. We have to study a lot. Even if they say language is easy, it's not easy. I'm telling you guys right now. So right now, I think we are running out of time. We just have 3 minutes. I have few things I wanted to share with you guys. So I will quickly put those out. And if you have more questions, you can either send me a DM on Instagram. I reply to everyone, or reach out to one of you guys and arrange another call like this. Okay. A few things I wanted to say is, if you are 100% sure you want to come to Korea and apply to GKS, once you are through the second round, the results of second round, and you're working on your medical stuff, start learning a little bit of Korean. So I did not study Korean at all, like not even the basics. So just go online, watch some videos. That would help you, because right now I'm struggling because I have to start from point 0. Some people came here with already being on point 3. So they have a good push. So that would help you. If you're like very, very serious about coming to Korea, start learning early. And don't worry, whatever you are doing, you will second guess it, like, am I doing it correctly or not? The universities, NIID, everyone understand that you're a student, you can make some mistakes. So for university track, I can assure you that they will send you an email if they want you to change something, send an additional document. They do not just discard your application. They value you as a candidate. And if they think you have potential, but there is a small mistake in your document, they will tell you everything and you can change it. You have enough time. You don't have to stress about it. Another thing is, the LORs, try to get them on time. Sometimes it happens that your application is ready, but the LOR is not. So whoever is studying or staying away from their university and need to get LOR from professor, get it in advance. Yes. Audio, Shrestha, audio.
Okay, one last question is that what happened in the interview part? I mean, does university and embassy both take interview, and how your interview went?
Okay, so yes, interview process is in both the tracks. The interview process is the second round basically in both the processes. For me, you get about 15 minutes, and for me it was interesting. It will be different from what you expect. It depends on the kind of interviewer you have. Sometimes the interviewer might expect you to explain your answer. Sometimes they're like, just give me a gist of it. So my interviewer was like, just give me the short answers and move on to the next question. And they are very formal, but not formal at the same time. Like they will treat you like a student. So another professor will be interviewing you, right? So you don't have to think of them as an interviewer. Think of them as a professor who's asking you questions, and you can answer accordingly. If you give them hints about something that you're not clear on, then they will keep questioning you about that. So make your answers pretty simple for them to understand. They just want to know whatever you have written in your personal statement is true or not. That's it. So your personal statement and study plan will be the main point of focus, and anything else you answer at that time, they will start branching from there, like your answer, and then they ask you another question within that answer. So that's how the interview will be. Sometimes if they are satisfied with your answer, it can finish at like 10-12 minutes, and they'll be like, okay, we'll let you know, bye. And for university track, it's online. For embassy track, if the COVID situation calms down, then you have to go to embassy to give your interview round.
Okay. Virali, you raised your hand, and we will make it quick for next 2 minutes more. Jyoti, I hope you don't mind, just 2 minutes more. Yes, Virali, just go ahead and ask.
Yeah. Just like you said that get your LOR beforehand. So like I live like far from Delhi. I'm from Delhi University. So like is it like getting it by end of the January fine, because the professors need to mention any kind of date or anything, because the form is out in February or mid-February, right?
Right. So what you have to do is ask your teacher to date it, no problem. Even in the guidelines from NIID, it's mentioned that your LOR will be valid for 1 year. So if you, for example, your professor provides it on December 20th, 2021, December 2022, your LOR will be valid. So till 1 year, you have the validity. So just get it in advance.
Okay, guys.
Ask them to date it.
So I have some few questions. Like I'm sending expected graduation certificate. So along with that, can I send mark sheet from first semester to fifth semester?
Yes, you have to send your mark sheet.
With notarization, right?
Notarization, and if your university says Apostille, then you have to get them Apostille, all of them. For me, I had 8 mark sheets Apostille and 1 degree, so 9 documents.
Okay.
But along, we have 8 CGPA out of 10, so we can send 20% candidate if there is a chance.
Not required. If you're already at 8, it's okay. You are valid. Like you can apply to the scholarship. It's fine.
Thank you.
Okay. Bunny has just asked that can we give LOR of internship or profession? Okay.
In
like
the guidelines,
our bosses and everyone under whom we
yeah. Since you are coming to, it's not mentioned anywhere. It's my understanding. Since you're going to study further, it is always good to get LORs from the professional that taught you, or they have seen you as a student instead of a co-worker or a employee, right? So get 2 from professors definitely, and third or fourth, it's on you. Like if you get additional LORs, that's okay. That's a good certification for your character. But 2 from professors, keep it mandatory. All right. Any more questions?
So like there is not such a thing that we cannot add more LORs. We can add more LORs.
You can add more. You can add more. But don't make it like too many. Just one more from manager.
Oh, did you add extra LORs?
I did not. I did not add any LORs from my manager because while I was applying, I was still working and I still didn't know if I will go through. So I did not want my manager to put me under pressure. So keep it a secret from them. If you're working in MNC, just do your thing on the side. And if you get selected, leave the company and go. So I did not get any LOR from manager. Just from my professors. Yeah. Okay. It's 7:05. I'm sorry. I think you guys have more questions. But like I said, Instagram or another chat like this will be fine. And thank you everyone for joining. I hope I helped. Audio, Shrestha, audio.
Thanks a lot. I always forget. Thank you very much, Jyoti, for your time, for your precious time. And
I hope I get to see everyone in Korea.
Yeah, we will have Suju together.
Yes, we will have Soju here.
Okay, chalo. Next questions we will ask either by your take your number or Insta ID, and we'll ask Shruti to share it. So okay, thank you very much. Anybody wants to thank, you can thank. The stage is all yours. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Jyoti, for clearing our doubts.
It was lovely meeting you all.
Same.
I hope I get to meet you all later too.
Everyone is thanking you on messages. That's all. And Shruti, thank you for arranging this meeting for us. You only made it possible. So thank you very much to you too for making us connected to her. So thank you.
And COVID is on the peak. So take care, guys. Stay safe.